Hodan Hashi was a 23-year-old Somali Canadian born in Ottawa, Canada. She was described by family and friends as a vibrant, friendly, and trusting woman with a kind heart and gentle soul. Her parents, Osman Hashi and Anna Piercy, immigrated to Canada from Somalia in 1989. Hodan was the fifth of 9 children and shared a close bond with all of her siblings. She was the peacemaker. If there was an argument between siblings, she would be the mediator. As a child, Hodan attended Saturday school in a mosque and accompanied her parents to Somalia, where she connected with her roots, learning language, culture, and religion. Religion was their family's foundation. Over the years, her family moved back and forth between Saskatoon and Ottawa, but in 2021, Hodan decided to stay in Saskatoon to pursue her dream of becoming an early childhood educator. Due to one of her younger sisters having a learning disability, Hodan was inspired to work with special needs children and help make society more inclusive for children like her sister. She worked 2 jobs, one as a waitress in a restaurant and another as a part-time translator for Somali immigrants, before she was scheduled to begin her studies at Saskatchewan Polytechnic in January. However, Hodan never got the chance to fulfill her dreams in special education because her life was unexpectedly cut short by 22-year-old Paige Theriault-Fisher. On November 5, 2022, police were called around 2:40 a.m. regarding a physical altercation between Hodan and Paige at Lit Nightclub, which shares the same building and ownership as the Crazy Cactus in downtown Saskatoon. There's not any details on what led to the altercation or the history between Paige and Hodan, but it's been confirmed that they did know each other. In a video of the altercation shared over social media, a DJ can be heard on the microphone announcing a b.i.t.c.h fight, as Paige is on top of Hodan, repeatedly striking her in the face and neck as a pool of blood forms and the crowd just stands by watching. Despite life-saving efforts by paramedics, Hodan was pronounced deceased at the scene. Paige was arrested and charged with second-degree murder, but the charge was later reduced to manslaughter. She was released on $5,000 bail with conditions of release including no contact with the victim's family or potential witnesses, a curfew of 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., no consuming or possessing alcohol unless it's in the course of her employment, and taking assessments for addictions programs and personal counseling as directed.
People jump to conclusions. They may see a grainy video, they may see many videos, and jump to conclusions. The police have compiled a significant amount of evidence here. The Crown considers all of that evidence in making our decision, our determination. And clearly, we'd be aware that she was initially arrested and detained and warned with respect to a murder charge. After the police had started collecting evidence, that charge was now graded to a manslaughter charge. And so when you talk about people talking about a murder occurring, I can say without a shadow of a doubt that the police made the correct decision. The circumstances do not warrant the charge.
Paige is scheduled to be back in court on December 15th, 2022. Shanquella Robinson was a 25-year-old businesswoman from Charlotte, North Carolina, who operated her own children's hair braiding business and an online boutique. Friends and family described Shanquella as an intelligent, supportive, adventurous, fun-loving, and sweet-hearted person who loved people and people loved her. However, she would come to find out that not everyone whom she loved her back. Shanquella met Daejhanae Jackson at Winston-Salem State University. The two maintained a friendship throughout college and even after their graduation in 2018. On October 28, 2022, Shanquella took a trip to San Jose del Cabo in Mexico to celebrate the birthdays of Daejhanae and another friend, Nazeer Wiggins. Four of their other friends, Khalil Cook, Winter Donovan, Elise Hyatt, and Malik Dyer, accompanied Shanquella, Daejhanae, and Nazeer on the trip to Cabo as well. The group of 7 rented a private villa for 3 days in Fundadores, an exclusive gated community with vacation homes and a private beach club. Most of the details on what happened during the trip are unclear. There's lots of conflicting stories and fake news being spread. However, the details that have been confirmed to be true are very sickening. Less than 24 hours into the trip, Shanquella's mother, Salamandra, received a phone call from Khalil Cook informing her that Shanquella puked a couple of times and had not been feeling well due to what he claimed to be a hangover, but reassured her that everything was fine and she was resting. Shanquella's mother trusted Khalil. He had been Shanquella's best friend for more than 5 years and even accompanied them on family vacations. So she told Khalil to just keep her informed on Shanquella's health. Shortly after their initial phone call, Shanquella's mother received another call from Khalil, but this time he was in a frantic state. Khalil told Salamandra there were medics at the villa trying to resuscitate Shanquella. This confused Salamandra because when she had previously spoken to Khalil, she was under the impression that Shanquella just had a hangover and everything was gonna be okay. Khalil put Salamandra on hold, and when he returned to the phone, he told her Shanquella had alcohol poisoning and the medics couldn't save her. After Shanquella was pronounced deceased, the trip was cut short and Khalil, along with the 5 others, quickly returned to the U.S., leaving Shanquella's body in Mexico. Upon returning to North Carolina, Khalil brought Shanquella's luggage to her mother's home and reiterated that she had died from alcohol poisoning. He visited Shanquella's family every day to comfort them and even decided to bring Daejhanae Jackson and Winter Donovan along with him. On the day he brought the girls to Shanquella's mother's home, Daejhanae and Winter told Salamandra that Shanquella had died from alcohol poisoning. However, by that time, the family had been receiving phone calls that there had been a physical altercation between Daejhanae, Winter, and Shanquella during the trip. Shanquella's sister asked Winter and Daejhanae if the allegations were true, and they told her no. After spending $6,000 to have Shanquella's remains shipped back to Charlotte, the family received her death certificate on November 10, 2022, which listed Shanquella's cause of death as severe spinal cord injury and atlas luxation, a dislocation of the spine and the neck. There was no mention of alcohol poisoning, and the autopsy report stated medical professionals arrived at the villa around 3 p.m., where they found Shanquella unconscious in the living room and was declared deceased within 15 minutes from injury. Autopsy photos also revealed Shanquella's face was swollen. She had a knot on her head, her eyes were swollen, and her lips were split. Despite Shanquella's injuries, officials in Mexico denied her death was a murder, citing the police investigation did not reveal signs of foul play. On November 15, 2022, a video began circulating on Twitter that showed Shanquella being viciously attacked by Daejhanae Jackson during their stay in Cabo, while at least 2 others stood by and recorded the encounter on their cell phones. A male's voice could be heard in the background saying,
"Quilla, can you at least fight back?"
To which Shanquella responded, "No." The video sparked outrage. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people voiced their opinions and called for the arrest of each individual who accompanied Shanquella on that trip. With the immense pressure piling onto Mexican authorities to reinvestigate the circumstances leading to Shanquella's untimely demise, the FBI and the State Attorney General's Office of Baja California Sur began an investigation of femicide. Femicide is defined as a homicide in which the victim was female and the crime was committed because of the victim's gender. Mexican authorities determined whether one of the main reasons for homicide was the victim's gender by evidence of sexual violence before death, degrading injuries such as mutilation, post-death rape, or if the perpetrator had an effective relationship with the female victim before the homicide was committed. Individuals found to commit femicide face between 40 and 60 years in prison. They're also liable for a fine equivalent to 1,000 days of their daily wages. In the midst of the reopened investigation, a new police report showed that a medical consultation at the villa had been requested at 2:13 p.m. on October 29, 2022. After a general practitioner from the American Medical Center arrived, Shanquella's friends told the medical professional that she had drank a lot of alcohol. The practitioner noticed Shanquella had a poor verbal response, appeared to be in a state of drunkenness, and dehydrated, but had stable vital signs. The practitioner advised the group to transfer Shanquella to a hospital, but they insisted she be treated at the villa instead. The practitioner tried to give Shanquella an intravenous line, but was unsuccessful. At 4:20 p.m., Shanquella began seizing, which prompted Winter Donovan to call for an ambulance. At 4:49 p.m., the general practitioner stopped feeling Shanquella's pulse and began CPR until paramedics arrived. Paramedics administered 14 CPR sessions and 5 doses of adrenaline, as well as discharges from an automated external defibrillator, without success. Shanquella went into cardiac arrest and was declared deceased at 5:57 p.m. On November 23, 2022, an arrest warrant was issued in the death of Shanquella Robinson, but the name of the alleged perpetrator was not released. However, we do know they're looking for a woman, and they are in the process of getting her extradited. Given there's a viral video of Daejhanae attacking Shanquella, we can assume the arrest warrant is for her. I keep hearing there is a second video that shows Winter grabbing Shanquella by the neck and body slamming her onto the ground without Shanquella getting back up. So that might come to the surface along with more arrest warrants. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comment section below. And I will talk to you in my next video.